Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. I just love this picture of William. Now, obviously, they've color corrected it. They've made him a little tanner, a little brighter in the front than in the back, and they've made his eyes so blue, but I don't care. The boy has some bone structure. That's all I can say. All right. So now we're going to catch up on the news that's going on because, I showed you the family photos and there's a lot to cover. So let's just jump in, shall we? Let's go. I want to thank my subscriber for sending me this fabulous photo of Paddington the bear with the Queen. I don't know when this came out, but I have to say I absolutely love it. We're starting out this morning with something that has nothing to do with the royals. It's called Rise Up. And this group tries to get girls and women to transform their lives, families, and communities for a more just and equitable world. Love it. The reason this caught my attention is because they named, and I hope I say this correctly, Tanzila Khan, a Rise Up leader from Pakistan who received the first ever Amal Clooney Women's Empowerment Award at the Prince's Trust. Love it. Go Amal. And of course, the fabulous photos of Amal, you can see here the woman's being notified she won. Here she is actually getting her award. But you can tell that Amal isn't posing, you know what I'm saying? She's actually so happy for this woman. I just love her work. All right, now let's move on. All right, moving on. Remember, Camilla is going to be in the new Commonwealth podcast, and I had asked how to listen to it. And one of my followers sent me this link so you can, I don't know if you can copy paste that, but that's how you can listen. Now, let me point out that Meghan Markle's podcast, Archetypes, which I think might be her last chance at Spotify at this point. They signed the deal how many years ago? They released one podcast that was a flop. They announced this whole archetype thing, which she's trying to trademark. Let's not forget that either. And a lot of people have already said it sounds like a snooze fest. They're not interested. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens when she's going to release it. It was supposed to be, in the summer. We're now in June. TikTok, people, TikTok. I haven't heard anything. All right, moving on. All right, I love the blind items because they are essentially usually spot on. However, this particular blind item is basically saying that Harry and Meghan are going to do a second interview with Oprah. I have a problem with that on several levels. Number one, I don't think Oprah would be that stupid. Her credibility took a big hit. She ended up removing that interview from the internet as much as she could. Number two, I don't think Harry and Meghan would risk the amount of backlash again that they suffered the first time around. Just my thoughts. Okay, the Duchess of Chunga Chunga dropped a note to Robert Eringer to thank him for his article. Now, this is the article I showed you, the scathing article where they told Harry he should be named Second Row Harry, and they basically talked about how wonderful the royals are. I showed you this. Well, anyway, he gave a link to another article. And this is, once again, another absolutely scathing article for Harry and Meghan that touches on Wallace Simpson, and that whole bit. And it's scathing. One of the things the article says is while Meghan may be adept at weaving a tight web, she's no match for the royal court and those who run it. She plays by Hollywood rules, mentored by Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King. Okay, you guys need to read that article. So we know that the other day it was Garter Day. We all know what was going on, and I did a video on it. And what always happens whenever something big is going on with the royals? What happens? Meghan and Harry you put something out into the media to try to draw the attention. Well, what got me is what they put out. So while Meghan was apparently in the Netherlands, she made a secret visit to a group called Project Fearless. And it's a space for girls in Amsterdam aged 9 to 14 to get hands-on, break stereotypes, find their voice, and create an impact. So, of course, Meghan went and she did what she usually does. They did staged photos of her with the girls and listening to them at a table, etc., etc. You guys know the drill. It was fake, it was staged, and they would not have released these secret pictures without Meghan's approval. So that's exactly what this was. They have her doing some things and they hold it back so they can release it to counter anything that the royal family's doing. It's such an old game and predictable. It didn't take long for the merching. Trendsetter Meghan Markle. So the first thing they point out is that the jacket is over 2,500 pounds. Where you can get it, what's the brand, the shoes, yeah. And then, of course, they have to link her to Diana. So there it is. She's paying tribute by wearing her tank watch. I keep wondering when the Meghan and Harry show is going to end. All right, moving on. Well, stories are coming out that Meghan is still going to be able to release exclusive footage from the Queen's Platinum Jubilee to Netflix executives. Interestingly enough, she said that you're going to see more than you think. And even though the cameras were banned, she'll find a way to do it. They were told they weren't on the balcony, but they were determined to be a part of this. So for me, I think she probably took pictures, in that general's office or wherever they were standing to watch the parade. She probably took some footage as she was going down the street. That's probably why she rolled the window down. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I believe it. All right, let's move on. Now, with that being said, it's been pointed out that the invitation that Harry and Meghan got was basically an olive branch. And the family has heard that they might be leaking details about what went on. And essentially, the family has said this is their test to see if they're going to leak anything. If they share any private Jubilee details, they will be cut off. That's the end. So, remember, they had a private conversation, and the next day, Harry told, Gayle King about it, and she announced it on Good Morning America. So this is their test. If they run their mouths, it's definitely over. So the news is out. We've all heard that William and Catherine are moving to a 4-bedroom home on the Windsor estate called Adelaide Cottage. Or are they? Listen to this. Compared to their other homes, this really is a very modest home. It's 4 bedrooms. They don't need any more because they don't have any live-in staff. All their staff will have to commute to them. They don't require any extra security. It doesn't require any renovations, unlike, what Harry and Meghan did with their millions of dollars in renovations. The reason they're doing this is that all 3 children can go to the same school at the same time. Now, it also means that they'll be living closer to the Queen. Now, they're going to be keeping Anmer Hall in Norfolk as their family country retreat. Kensington Palace, the apartments at Kensington Palace are going to be used for staff offices. So they're a 10-minute walk away from the Queen. So if the Queen, needs help or something, wants to go to church one morning, the whole family will be very close and will be able to help. And in the meantime, there's a lot of privacy there in Windsor, and yet they're close to the schools. And they're saying that this cottage is a very stark difference to Harry and Meghan, who spent their fortune on Frogmore Cottage with things like underfloor heating, or garden barbecue, vegan paint. You guys should also know it was reported that they will be paying rent. So this is not a free ride. Now, I had previously reported that William and Catherine were moving into the castle, and people jumped right out and said, no, that's not true. That's not true. Well, guess what? It's now being reported that their plans to move into Adelaide Cottage have been canceled because they're going to go ahead and move into, quote, the big house on the Windsor estate because Prince Charles won't be using it as much when he's king. So, like I said before, they're still going to keep their apartment in Kensington Palace, in Anmer Hall. But no, it looks like they're moving into the castle. That's what it is. All right, moving on. It is the first day of Royal Ascot. And, it's the horse racing, and there's 5 days of it. And the Queen, unfortunately, can't make it. The Queen sent a message with her very best wishes, which I thought was very nice of her. As you can see, the Queen's horse, which is named King's Lynn, will be running in the 340 race, the King's Stand Stakes. I've never been to a horse racing, and I've certainly never betted on a horse race. I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? Like, how do you decide which horse you think is going to win? Very interesting. They also put out the carriage procession, who's going to be in which carriage, and what's happening for royal watchers, which I personally appreciate. So let's move on to who all was there. First of all, the whole family came out, which is one of the things that I just love. I love that the whole family came out. And of course, the Middletons, Carol and Mike, were there. And of course, there's Beatrice and her husband and Edo. And I loved her outfit. I love the way they look together. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think she hit the jackpot in the husband department. Like, seriously, I think these two are going to have a good, healthy marriage. A big thank you to Dagmar of Denmark for the information on what she's wearing. Everything is a rewear, I believe, except for the purse. Sophie was there looking absolutely gorgeous as usual in pink. I think pink was her color. I mean, just look at her. Anyway, once again, a thank you to Dagmar of Denmark for the list of what she was wearing. She always looks so stylish. And once again, almost everything was a rewear. Then here comes the family, and there's Zara Tyndall. There's her husband that's there with her as well. They both look so happy. I can't wait for the picture of Mike wearing her hat, because that seems to be a thing that they do after this is all over. He'll take the hat off and put it on his head. And once more, from Dagmar, a list of everything that she was wearing. Love it. So in the first carriage, you have Charles, the Duke of Wales, you have Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, and you have the oldest grandson, Peter Phillips. Here they are arriving. Watch this. In the second carriage, you had the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, I hope I said that right, or Gloucester, and the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. All right, here they are arriving. And finally, in the third carriage, you had Princess Anne, Princess Royal, and she was sitting with Lord de Mauley and Mr. and Mrs. Nunnally. Now, I believe Mrs. Nunnally used to be her lady in waiting. Anyway, here they are arriving. Watch this. So everybody got there, everybody went down to the field, they were all greeting each other. Everybody looked really happy to see each other. I mean, this is what it's all about, isn't it? That the whole family gets along. Camilla's outfit, as you can see, was absolutely fabulous. She looked great. They all looked great. Eventually, everybody made it up to the royal box. They all greeted each other up there, the ones who didn't greet each other down on the lawn. And there's a lot of people there that initially I didn't recognize. I guess they're not around that often, if that makes any sense. Of course, we all recognize this group, but as you go on, you begin to see some people that you might not know right off the top of your head. For instance, with Sophie here is Lady Hooper and her mother, the Countess Mountbatten of Burna. I had no idea who these people were. So I kept wondering, where's William and Catherine? And then I realized it's the 5-year anniversary of the tower, I think it's called Grenfell Tower that burned. And so Catherine and William went to a memorial that was occurring that day, and they did with their usual grace and style. They walked through the crowd, they met people, they spoke with people. There was a lot going on this one particular day that, there was just a lot. So, of course, they went around, they shook hands, they did their whole diplomatic thing, and there was a ceremony. Now, this ceremony was taking place at what was the base of the building. At least that's my understanding of it. And they erected a stage, and there were people there. The mayor was there, and, different dignitaries, and they were all laying wreaths. So here is when William and Catherine laid their wreath in honor of the people. Watch this.
And the next wreath, on behalf of Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London.
It was a very moving tribute, and I'm so glad that William and Catherine did not go to the horse races and instead went here. Very important. This is the kind of work that's important. You know what I'm saying? Bring attention to the tragedy. Now, what did Meghan do to mark the tragedy? She was being her beautiful, kind self by leaving a voicemail. Yep. Okay, moving on. All right, here we are. It's the next day. William went to St. George's Park. He met with Team England and he spoke with the captain, Leah Williamson. And then they gave him shirts for the 3 children, which I thought was really, really sweet. I do believe he is the patron. Look how happy everybody looks. Love it. And I love the shirts. That was a really sweet gift. I'm sure the kids will absolutely love them. But William always looks like he's having a good time, even at stuff like this. You know he was kicking the ball around with them. They just didn't show it. You know what I mean? They don't want to show the pictures. All right, moving on to today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're on day 2 of Ascot, Royal Ascot. They had the procession. Charles and Camilla were in the first carriage. Here's some video to show you the procession, who was where, so that you could take a look. Watch this. So when the coaches stopped, everybody got out. They went for a walk. Camilla and Charles did. They went down because everybody was getting out at the same time, and they all met up on the grass. Kisses and hugs all around for everybody. I mean, again, William and Catherine aren't there, just like they weren't there. But now we know that William was at the football/soccer area. That's what I call it. Once again, I love Beatrice's outfit. Love the hat. This rivals what she had on yesterday. Simple, plain, but yet elegant. Once again, I love what Sophie's wearing. Blue is a good color for her. Now, I got to be honest, I like the pink outfit yesterday better, but this is still good. I mean, I still like it. And of course, Anne was there looking as gorgeous as ever. And finally, Charles, who is all about sustainable fashion, and we've seen this outfit on him before. And Camilla also looked really good today. Yeah, I love Ascot. All right, one of my followers sent me this article, which totally sums up Meghan. It talks about how she was uninvited and yet flew with a camera crew to Texas to take photos, you know, where those children were shot, whereas any right-minded human being would have steered away from such a ghastly charade. It talks about Meghan's fibs, how she said she grew up farm-to-table dining before it was sweeping the nation, but then in the next thing talked about how poor they were. And, the rescue chicken, she just loves rescuing things. You know, this article basically talks about her pretentiousness, that Meghan has a very limited threat to the constitutional order. She doesn't really understand English constitution, English history, any of that. She's going to try to make trouble, but the truth is the majority of the British public has turned against the two of them, and the goodwill that was overflowing at their wedding is gone. It's done. And it also talks about her future run for the Senate from California and all of this stuff. And it points out that good judgment and introspection are not their strong suit. You know what I'm saying? The caravan has moved on. They've grown tiresome. It's a good article. You should read it. Now, finally, I want to remind you guys that when Harry and Meghan wanted to leave, they put up the statement that you see above. They didn't talk to the family first. They simply put the statement out. And what does it say? It says that they chose to make a transition to carve out their own role. They're stepping back as senior members. They want to become financially independent. That's what they said. They want to balance their time between the United States and the UK, which is something they have not done. They want to honor the duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and the patronages, which is something they did not do. They said that the balance would enable them to raise Archie with the appreciation for royal tradition. No, I don't think he's being raised with any appreciation for the royal family. Okay? So when I see these comments online about how the royal family ran them off, banished them, threw them out, you guys might want to go back and recheck the statement that they made. All right, I'm going to have to stop this video here because we've already covered Royal Ascot Days 1 and 2, the Tower disaster, the England soccer / football meet up and greet. We've covered so much, as well as just a lot of crap from our dastardly duo as usual. So we're going to stop it here. Lots of comments, you guys, because we've covered a lot. Make sure to leave them below. Don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed. I did look online and it is saying that 70% of the people watching my videos are subscribed and 30% are not. I don't know why you wouldn't press the button, but okay, your choice. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, Getter, Rumble. You can email me. And for those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.